can get started, bro. So I think we should start with the Chargers game since we did have our No Lazy Takes correspondent at the game. So Chargers Raiders, Chargers won, I believe, what 22 to
10.
13, 22 to 10.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, pretty convincingly. If you score 22 points and and the game kind of wasn't even close in the second half. So kind of what's the biggest takeaway you got coming away from week one Chargers game being a Chargers fan?
I think obviously like the fact that you can kind of see the just the imprint of Jim Harbaugh already like taking effect, just the culture and the identity of the team. Tough, physical, like all those things were on display, especially on the defensive side of the ball. They did a like I don't remember a game where we were so effective at stopping the run. There was a bunch of short yardage situations where third and ones, fourth and ones, where they stuffed runs for no gains and forced the Raiders to punt or turn it over on downs. Um, and then so I thought that was the most significant thing to me is that his kind of the culture and the way that he wants to play football, and how he has played football throughout his coaching career, kind of already took effect in week one, and we already um, saw how that translated into success on the field. Like Justin Herbert, he didn't really have a really good game. Like he game managed well, he didn't turn the ball over, but obviously he threw for like 150 yards or so, only one touchdown. Didn't really drop back a ton. Was under a lot of pressure, and there wasn't really many plays that were down the field outside of maybe like one pass I remember to Hayden Hurst down the sideline.
Yeah.
Um, so just seeing like all those things, like typically if you would have told us in the past that Justin Herbert threw for 150 yards, like it's a guaranteed loss. You know what I mean? So it's nice to see that like the Chargers have the ability to hopefully moving forward, have multiple formulas to winning football games. And that to me is a sign that this could be, a team that can be competitive throughout the rest of the season. Hopefully the offense comes along, because it was really shaking the first half for sure. But definitely like good to see that the culture is already kind of taking form, and that you see that the buy-in from the players, and it translated particularly in the second half when they were down at half and they were able to make them adjustments on the offensive side of the ball and the defensive side of the ball, and kind of take over that game and physically impose themselves on the Raiders team that kind of wants to have that similar mold of being a physical team and not get bullied and stuff. But in that fourth quarter, the Chargers kind of bullied them. Like they ran the ball down their throats. Um, and then they even got in that little tussle with Josh Palmer, I think, started it. And then you even
Yeah.
seen
He was putting in
QJ's turtleneck wearing ass even got in the fold
yeah.
and threw himself in there. So it's good
Very
to
Harbaugh
see
like.
that.
No,
Very.
yeah. That's it was good to see at week one. The big, like you said, I agree with a lot of the takeaways that you had from being at it, seeing it, feeling it live. The biggest takeaway is, well, one of the big takeaways is that the Chargers have an identity. And like you said, that comes from Harbaugh. This is going to be a tough team. So, like you said, in the first half, we were kind of getting stuffed with the run. Nothing really too spectacular on offense to take away from. But you see, in the second half, we stuck with it. And as the game went, the Chargers got stronger. It's almost like we were the more conditioned team, we were
Hmm.
the stronger team, and we stuck to what we set out to do with the initial game plan. So that was pretty refreshing to see because and you could just attest that to Jim Harbaugh. It's like, listen, I know it's not working, but we're a team built to run the football, play hard on defense, and we're gonna win games that way. There's no ifs, ands, or but. I don't give a fuck if we get get stopped on third down and short in the first half two times. That doesn't matter. We're here to run the ball down your throats in the third and fourth quarter, like they did with J.K. Dobbins. And then and then another thing that you said with if you would have told us at the last year this time that Justin Herbert threw for 150 yards, yeah, it's like, did he get hurt? Like you know what I
Hmm.
mean? Yeah, it's like, did he get hurt in the first half, and how much did we lose by? But but that almost kind of, even with the lack of weapons, it's the style of play is going to take a lot of pressure off of him to have to be Superman for us to be competitive. Because I was watching this game and I was like, oh my God, because this is nip tuck first half. No one's really pulling away. With Brandon Staley as the coach, the Chargers lose this game.
Very
100%.
possible. Yeah, it's very
Yeah, very
possible.
possible. But with Jim Harbaugh in the second half, there really wasn't a doubt past the third quarter where it was kind of, all right, we're the better team here, and we have the better quarterback, which is pretty much what it came down to. And you look at what Patrick Mahomes has turned into is a game manager. Yes, he can still do the awesome stuff every now and then, but the way that they won the Super Bowl last year, he was just he learned how to win football games, and it's not by running around throwing behind the back passes every drive. It's by doing whatever it's called to win the game. So I feel like that's going to be the next step in Justin Herbert actually becoming a winner. And then also what this team is going to look like under Jim Harbaugh. Jim Harbaugh should give all Chargers fans hopes.
Yeah, and I think we had to give a shout out to rookie Joe Alt. Man, he performed well in that opener, especially considering that your first test, your first taste of NFL action, you're facing one of the premier guys on the edge that we've seen in the last couple of years in Max Crosby. And I seen that, in the pass blocking snaps that Joe Alt had against Max Crosby didn't generate a single pressure. And so that in itself is just very impressive to me. And I wouldn't have been surprised if he would have struggled against Max Crosby. Like if you would have told me he gave up a few pressures, gave up a sack or two, like I wouldn't have panicked and said, "Oh man, like he sucks." Like Max Crosby is amazing. He's one of the best players that we have in the National Football League, and for him to hold his own and in a lot of cases win those one-on-one matchups, I think just bodes well moving forward. Obviously, you already have a premier left tackle in Rashawn Slater, and obviously he's going to do his thing, and he played well too in the opener. So um, that's a major sign to me. Obviously, you touched on the receivers, and I think that's going to be the developing story that we're going to have to continue to monitor because I think that's going to be continue to be the biggest question for this team is um, who's going to be able to win on one-on-one matchups on the outside, who's going to be able to get open on a consistent basis. Um, like I noticed a lot of third and downs and even early downs, the Raiders were being that extra safety down to the line of scrimmage or 5 to 10 yards from line of scrimmage. They're playing single high. They're kind of playing press coverage. They're kind of pretty much daring those receivers to win on the outside and to challenge their DBs and their safeties. And so we'll see how that kind of develops over the course of the season. But yeah, I mean, I think that question didn't really get answered in this game, and that's still the biggest concern because outside of the few plays here and there, like the lad play at the end of the game when he caught that shallow cross and juked two guys for the touchdown, and then QJ getting a few shallow crosses, and then maybe like Palmer getting like 1/3 and 9 conversion that I can remember on the out route.
Yeah, little Toledo route on the outside.
Yeah, so other than that, like there wasn't really many open windows. There wasn't guys running free. There wasn't guys creating a ton of separation. There wasn't guys putting stress on the defense. And so I think, that's going to be something to monitor, especially when you start to play tougher teams you're going to have to put up some points. Like 22 isn't going to win you every game in the NFL. There's going to be times when you're going to be playing more elite offenses, obviously teams that don't have Gardner Minshew at quarterback, that you're going to have to be able to keep up with some of these higher octane offenses. So, we'll see how that develops over the course of the season.
Right. 100% agree. Yeah. That's also one of the takeaways from this game is that the Chargers offense does lack juice, quote unquote. Like you said, someone to create separation in one on one. We'll see just how good Lad is. We'll see just how much QJ develops this year. I mean, it kind of looks like this is just what he is at this point. Like he can catch a drag and then get a little bit of yards after catch, but as far as like creating separation downfield, running by people, that just doesn't seem to really be his game. So we do got DJ Shark is on the IR, correct?
Yep.
So he can come back at the earliest 4 weeks from now, and
Yep.
he's known as a NFL deep threat. I guess you can say he's
Yeah,
probably
I mean, he
the
was supposed to be like our X receiver, kind of that guy that plays on the outside. They was that at least that's what he was penciled in as.
yeah
But now they're gonna have to kind of go with Palmer
yeah
and QJ as the X's for now.
yeah as an X, yeah. So we're gonna kind of see. Hopefully, like I said, we got a good break with playing the Panthers next week. That should be a automatic dub. So this style of play should be able to beat about 75% of the teams, other than teams who have elite quarterbacks. Then we're gonna try to have to really push our offense. But like I said, man, this watching this game, just watching the level of competence on from our coaching staff on both sides of the ball, where it was like every decision made was not a decision that made you like scratch your head. There wasn't any bullshit penalties that the Chargers usually get in the worst moments, where there'd be like a false start at the wrong time, a personal foul at the wrong times, just personnel issues. There's nothing that made you say same old Chargers. And and then I had a thought. I was like, damn, this nigga Jim Harbaugh is gonna make me cry one day. Because I was looking at this team and I was like, okay, like this is the guy. Under this man, we could win a Super Bowl one day. And I know damn well there's a lot of at being a Chargers fan, Keith, you know how this is. We ain't never won a Super Bowl. We've gotten close a couple times. And I don't know if you've even thought about it just because of the level of bullshit that has happened in your career being a Chargers fan. But if the Chargers win a Super Bowl, I'm crying. That's gonna be like
A hundred, a
that's
hundred.
gonna be that's gonna be
As you
like
should.
I'm crying
As you
because
should.
and I feel like as a Chargers fan, that is the one thing that keeps you being a Chargers fan. It's almost like, nah, I can't hold out on this. I can't sell my Coca-Cola stock. I bought it in 1970. The ship still might get, you know what I mean? So it's just knowing that all this is building up to a moment that's not guaranteed. By no means is a Super Bowl guarantee for any franchise. But you know, if it ever does happen, it's gonna feel better than say if a Steelers won another Super Bowl where they've won six in the
Yeah,
past. And it's kind of like, oh yeah, we supposed to do this. Like half these niggas who Steelers fans is just Steelers fans because they got mad Super Bowls already. Them niggas couldn't
yeah.
even tell you who the quarterback was before Ben Roethlisberger.
Hmm.
So yeah, so it's like yeah. So I found it.
I think I think a lot of you guys' wins are gonna be like Steelers wins this year. Just hard fought, just grinded out games, like not high scoring, just in the trenches defensive, which is new for the Chargers. Not really, winning games in the trenches like that. But
That
yeah, I
that
see that happening a lot.
that is a great point because the Steelers, you look back at just about every Steelers season, especially what their subpar quarterback play in the past, and then you look at their schedule and you'd be like, look at their team with the talent they have on offense, which has been kind of none. And you'd be like, how the hell did they go in and beat the Rams week 5 in Los Angeles? How did they win this game? How did they win that? How did they shouldn't have even won the game in Atlanta. Like, so you see, they be winning games they have no business doing just solely based off their identity and toughness.
That year they went undefeated for the first like
Oh
what
no, no, they were
12,
terrible. That was a
12 games
terrible
of
team.
season. They were
Yeah,
terrible.
yeah, yeah,
That
yeah,
was
yeah.
the fakest 10-0 team ever.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
know,
that was a terrible
and look
team.
look at the
I understand
schedule.
what you're saying though.
Same thing could happen with you guys. Panthers next week. Like y'all could start out this season pretty hot and
No,
not
no,
really
no.
good.
Absolutely. And then I was like, okay, this team can make the playoffs with this identity. If as long as Justin Herbert stays healthy, we can compete with anybody.
Yeah, and
Because
Bosa
it,
looked
it
good.
seems like we're not going to beat ourselves. The Chargers have been known over the past 15 years for beating themselves. Jim Harbaugh is not known to beat themselves. I can't ever remember a time where I seen Jim Harbaugh led team beat themselves. So if we can't step on the biggest threat to the Chargers has been the Chargers over the past 20 years. So if we can erase that, then there's hope. And it's the first time, like I said, I was watching, I was like, oh my God, like this team, we can win a Super Bowl with this. I'm not saying this year, but we get a little bit of juice on offense, get a couple picks in free agency, draft the right receiver, the right tight end. It's definitely it's capable. And I can't wait to play the Chiefs and really see how we match up against the top of the NFL.
That's
Because
gonna,
that's
that's
the
gonna be
measuring
fun.
stick right there.
That's gonna be fun because you already beat one team in your division, so
Oh yeah, the Raiders, man, they bums.
uh,
They need to sit down. They
look-
might looking at them, they might mess around and be the worst team in the division.
yeah, looking at Denver too. I mean, shoot,
Oh yeah,
y'all
I
should be
told,
worried about
yeah, yeah.
them.
That's not a surprise. Let me see what the Chargers got coming up. Their schedule:
Panthers and Steelers and Chiefs. Then the bye week.
Panthers, Steelers, Chiefs. Okay, so
That's
we should
great.
beat the Panthers. Steelers where in Pittsburgh?
Yeah.
That's gonna be a great test.
It's a big
Uh,
game.
that's gonna be a great test. We should beat them. But that's still gonna be a great test to go into Pittsburgh and win, and it's gonna be pretty even. We'll see. who's playing quarterback for them for the Steelers even, and they don't even know who their quarterback is. So like we got them beat right there. But yeah, so if you're a Chargers fan, man, there's a lot to
3-1 going into the bye week.
3-1. You saying we lose to Chiefs? We could
Mhm.
beat them.
No, yeah, for sure. I'm
That's gonna
saying
be at home, right?
worst case
That's at
scenario.
home.
Yeah, but I don't ever pencil in a W against the Chiefs. I always
Worst case
No,
scenario.
no, but we play them tough, man. We can, and we're not gonna beat the last. Say what you want, man. Every time we lost to the Chiefs, we beat ourselves. We threw a pick six from the Chiefs 1 yard line one time. We went for it on
Yep.
fourth down one
Every
time doing some stupid Staley shit. We can beat them. We played them tough. We played them just about as tough as anyone in the division. So
I also liked how Bosa looked too.
Bosa
yeah.
looked hungry.
Yeah, he
He
did
looked
look hungry.
hungry. He looked hungry, and
Hopefully,
he didn't.
hopefully he stays healthy, man. That's the
And,
biggest thing. That's always the thing with him.
and he didn't look like he was trying to get too cute because you know he likes to do the cute little spin moves. He looked like
Yeah.
he'd been hanging around Khalil Mack just a little bit more.
Khalil Mack,
So
yeah, Khalil Mack's still a dog, man.
grown ass man, that's crazy. He's yeah, he doesn't make any sense at all. So yeah, this is the defense look good, offense look good, but like I said, we're not gonna really know until one we go into Pittsburgh
Yeah, you won't really
and
learn
test it.
anything like this week out like unless they lose this game, then you'll learn that like okay, maybe we got pumped the brakes a little bit, but this should just be a game that against the Panthers that they should just win and shouldn't really like be a sweat. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if it's like a somewhat close game just because the Panthers are at home and like they're coming off an embarrassing loss, so a lot of teams typically respond after those type of performances and like they going put whatever effort out there that they can to not get embarrassed twice in a row. So I wouldn't be shocked that if it's a game that's like a one possession game, but I think at the end of and especially late, like it should be similar script to where the Chargers should find a way to kind of pull away down the stretch.
Yeah, absolutely. I expect to win by at least 2 scores. Like you said, it might be Panthers got pride. They just got their ass kicked. So they're going to come out a little bit with fire in the first, second quarter. So you kind of got to either shut them down quick or withstand their first few punches. Cause like you said, it's going to happen.
Hmm.
But we should be able to just outlast them like we did the Raiders because they're an inferior team. You should be able to outlast inferior teams. And then we'll see if it's legit because part of being the Chargers is playing to the competition of no matter who you're playing. You can be Chargers were the type of team to uh play the Chiefs and be in it and lose by a field goal at the end, and then play Los Osos Junior Varsity and lose by a field goal at the end in the
Yep.
next week. So it's about we'll see if we stick to play our game or play to the level of competition. So that's gonna be another test in itself.
Hmm. For sure.
Okay. So that's enough about the Chargers. Another topic that we're gonna just go ahead and jump to. Some that Keith can relate to a lot with this police brutality going on and systemic racism. So
Oh, yeah.
two of your Keaton's favorite topics.
Oh, you love that.
The Tyreek Hill
The
video.
hell?
Did you
Hey, hold up. Insane. After the presidential debate tonight, too. You're getting that thrown on me.
Did you what did you think about the debate, Keith?
That was a fucking shit show, but it's always entertaining though, I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, no, Trump's entertaining, but yeah, that's for another episode. Uh, what did you guys see the footage of Tyreek Hill?
Dude, I saw the full body cam actually today.
Okay,
Full body cam one today.
okay, that could have got you 4 pause on that one, but it's all
Uh,
right. It's it's all good. What about you, Keith? Did you see the whole footage?
I didn't see the full footage, no, but I seen like clips.
Do you want to take the time to watch the full footage? I think you should watch the full footage before having a take.
Yeah, I was just talking to my pops about that because he said he watched it.
What did your dad say?
Uh,
If
he
it's
was he was saying yeah, the cops were tripping for sure a little bit, like they were being a little forced too aggressive. And then obviously like I think that Tyreek probably being a little dismissive of the cops and stuff, a little like arrogant and whatnot, but he's Tyreek Hill at the same time. And like he was going 60, I think, right? So like, it wasn't like it was something outlandish. Like there wasn't no need to, I guess they like pulled him out of his car and like kind of like put him on the ground aggressively, right? Is that right, Harlow?
Yeah. No, like they pulled him out. Well, first they were like banging on the window because they talked to him. He put the window up, then he started banging on the window, and he was like, "What are you
Yeah.
banging on the window for like this?" Then he pulled him out, threw him on the ground. One of the cops actually, he was like really, really aggressive. He was kind of stocky. I saw you tweet belong about the one in his hand tats. That was the first thing I saw when I looked at the video. I was like, who's this cop with all these tats on him? Like he was
Yeah,
real.
yeah. Anytime you see a white boy with some skull and bone shit and snakes and lizards and shit on
Yeah.
his hand, you
They
gotta
were
you
saying
gotta watch out for him.
they were saying it was like some Cuban cops though, wasn't it? Like they had
I don't
accents.
care if
Well,
it
a
was
lot
some
of a lot of
there's
them for sure
Cubans in the
were
KKK. They will let a white looking Cuban in the KKK,
for sure.
Type.
especially if you got some snake hand tattoo. That he was in a biker gang. That was a biker gang tattoo. I know a biker gang tattoo. And damn near might have been a prison gang shit. The way that shit was looking, that nigga's hands was looking demonic.
But there was a lot, there was a
Why
lot
were
of
there
them
so
too.
many like cops that were all together though?
I was about to
Because
say
no,
there was
because
a
this
lot of
is a football game. This is a big event. What do you mean? There's supposed to be cops there regulating just in case some shit happened, just in
Oh,
case
they all pulled up quick. They
they were already there. This is
all of
him
it. Okay.
driving. This is driving into the Hard Rock Stadium.
yeah, he was
There's
close to the stadium. He was really
Okay.
close.
all the yeah. So we got to regulate traffic. We know there's going to be thousands, hundreds of thousands of people coming here to pregame, tailgate, go to this event. We know this is a huge event in Miami. This is Miami. So
Yeah.
no, there should be a pretty heavy police presence right there. But go ahead. Were you still speaking on it, Harlow?
Yeah, so a couple of teammates drove by too. I don't know if you saw that part, Brandon.
Yeah, Calais
They were
Campbell.
yeah,
I think
Campbell.
Tyreek was on the phone with the head of security for the Miami Dolphins.
Yeah, came up and got him up. So I was thinking just when I saw that when I first woke up in the morning and I saw that tweet, I think Adam Schefter tweeted it, and I was like, I thought it was fake at first. I was like, am I? 'Cause I was sleepy. I was like, what's going on right
Yeah,
now?
me too. Yeah.
And then I realized that okay, wait, he's still playing. I was like, maybe like something happened. I don't know what happened, but after seeing the full clip, I'm kind of like, what are they gonna say about it during the week? So I mean,
Uh, okay. So what's your take on this situation?
like I thought it was uncalled for, truly. I
Okay.
mean, I thought it was like for all that just to not really do anything, handcuffs and everything, just to not do anything. Really, I don't understand what the point of that was.
Right. What about you, Keith?
Yeah, I agree. I don't really have like too many drawn out thoughts outside of that.
You didn't watch the whole video, huh? Do you
No,
want
I
to?
didn't get to
We
the
can
full
pause.
video.
You can watch. It's only 2 minutes, so you can have a little bit
But
more
they
context.
definitely were being like way too aggressive with him.
Yeah, like I seen the little clips. It's all good though. Like, I don't think I'll have any like fleshed out thoughts outside of what y'all are saying.
All right. From watching this video, it almost made me think that this is Tyreek Hill's first encounter with police, which I don't think is true. I think he's gotten into it with his girl and shit in the past. And 28, 30-year-old man, you would think has been, I'm not even gonna subjected to black people, but everyone, I'm assuming that everyone here has been pulled over at some point,
Many times.
right? Okay, yeah. So you know, kind of how to have you guys ever been pulled over with people before?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay. While you guys were driving,
yeah.
Yep.
what did you guys say to the people in the car with you?
Just be cool. I don't need, I sometimes
Yeah.
you shouldn't really have to say shit. It's just like
Okay, listen,
Was
and
was he with someone?
no, he was with someone, but I'm kind of taking this. This is gonna be you guys are gonna see. I'm gonna bring everything together. What about you, Harlow? Have you ever been with anyone in the car?
Yeah, for sure. But it was on some like real like, all right, everybody just chill out.
No, everybody shut the fuck up if you're
Yeah,
not driving.
yeah, everybody chill
That's
out.
and then it kind of it sucks, but it's true. If you're not driving, there's no need for you to speak. So I'll give you guys a couple stories that encounters I've had with police, and I'm gonna kind of tie Keaton into this because I know he is a lawyer and he knows the law, and I'll get into that a little bit. So one time, me and Malcolm and Eco, just a group of dudes in the car. So we went to you guys know Hermosa Park. Yeah, so we up there hanging out doing our thing. We see a cop. As soon as we pull up, we see cops. Yeah. So this is years ago, years almost 10 years ago now, thinking about it. And then so we pull up, we see the cop and hanging out at the park already. So you know what we do? We said, oh yeah, we leaving. As soon as we got there, then we pull out the parking lot. Cops see us do that, run into his car, get the dog. pull us over half a mile down the street, down Wilson. So I'm in there and I'm driving. So like I'm just like, okay, like we're not really doing nothing. So cop come up to the window. I already got the license, hand up right here. Cop come to the window and he say, "What y'all doing?" And then we're like, "Nothing. Like we just went to park and left. Like, what was that a crime?" He's like, "Oh no, y'all fit the description of somebody who's up here stealing boxes in the neighborhood." So we're like, all right, like obviously no, but yeah, I'm like, okay, yeah, no, that's not us. So like, here's our license. You can do whatever you want. So Malcolm is kind of like the guy who's like Tyreek Hill, who feels like the police can't say nothing to him. He want to turn into an activist in the back seat. He's on the phone with Aaron. He's on the phone, and then it's not just one cop. So a cop talking to me in the window. Malcolm, he is sitting in the back seat on the other passenger side. Cop come down. Tell Malcolm roll his window down and say, "Get off that phone." You know what Malcolm say? He's on the phone, Aaron. Hold on, Aaron. This motherfucking cop must not know who the fuck he talking to. And then fucking put the phone down, and then while he's sitting on a joint, let me tell you, he's really sitting on a joint. So it's like this is. I feel like that we really need to educate Black men on how to speak to the police and then deal with police presence, because now is not the time to resist anything. So, like you said, the first thing Tyrese said, "Why are you banging on my window like that? Why are you banging it like coming out of being saying anything aggressive to a person who has a ability to shoot you and get away with it is stupidity." So already stupid thing number one. Number two, rolls the window back up after handing his license, has dark ass tint on his window. This cop can't see, and you already see he's on one. Why would you feel like you can just get away with that? You should expect to get pulled out the car, get a couple knees and elbows to the back. But I kind of feel like in a way, is it fair how they treated him? Did they overact? Yes, but the biggest takeaway is, did Tyreek Hill bring this upon himself with the way that he damn near escalated the situation, if you ask me, because he should have already been there with his hands on the steering wheel, license and registration up on the dashboard, window down. How you doing, sir? I was just going to the game. It's that, and then I guarantee you, if he does that, that's a 5 minute situation, if that. He probably don't even get a ticket because he Tyreek Hill.
Yeah, I can see that for sure.
100%, yeah. And then I know a lot of people. I've been pulled over with dudes. Another dude who studied law, and he black too, and he want to start trying to show his law knowledge to the police. While he not even. Well, it's me, him, and another dude. We just came back from the dispo in college, and then he want to start turning to lawyer of the year. Want to turn into the great debater. You know what that got us? That got us handcuffed on the curb in front of the dorm because you over here trying to be Malcolm X, Keaton. So that's what I'm saying. You can't really. It's just I understand the whole
I understand the right your rights thing and all that is just also like
time and place, man.
time and
Just
place. Cops are can be unpredictable. As unfortunate as that is, you don't know exactly who you're dealing with. They're humans too. Man, you could be having an interaction with a cop and they having a terrible day that day and they looking to take it out on somebody and you at the wrong place at the wrong time, like you said. And so it's just about like it's just about like understanding that like there's just the risk reward. You know what I mean? The risk reward, like in situations like that, is never the risk is always going to outweigh the reward of you like popping off to a cop and trying to put him in their place and whatever and put
exactly.
a little to put the macho man Mac act on like you tough guy and that you can't that people can't tell you shit like all it
Yeah.
takes is just one bad encounter for all that shit to go south, so it's always
Yeah.
like
Look, Tyreek
Exactly.
Tyreek was feeling himself, and the cop was feeling himself. It was just two.
Yeah, first of all, you trying to talk shit to a policeman with skull and bones tattoos on his knuckles and shit. You already know how he feel about you, young black man pulling up in a Maserati with the suicide doors. You already know he don't like that. He couldn't wait to jump on you, and you gave him a reason. Why you banging on my door? Why you banging on my door? Like, what the fuck do you? Whoa, hey yo! If I was in that back seat, I would have been looking at Tyreek Hill like, what the hell is wrong with you? Talking about why you banging on that window. A cop could punch my window in. First thing I'm gonna say, oh, sorry about that window, sir. What is you talking about? I don't understand. There's no. This isn't a debate. This isn't a debate here. That's what I'm saying. Like Tyreek Hill, he said, what did he say? He said, imagine if I wasn't. He said something like that. Imagine if I wasn't Tyreek Hill.
See, if I wasn't Tyreek Hill, what would happen?
Listen, yeah, and sadly, he's correct. I don't even think Tyreek Hill understands how correct he is. Tyreek Hill, because you're Tyreek Hill, you did not get guns drawn on you. They know that you're not going to shoot the police. They know Tyreek Hill going to a football game is not going to have a shootout with the police. If you were just a black dude, all that window up, when he rolled the window back up, you know what it came up to? The guns. Get out the car. But because you Tyreek Hill, they gonna open up your door and pull you out, and then give you a little bit of George Floyd action on the back and putting you on your belly. But if he's not Tyreek Hill, they're pulling guns out on him, and then anything can happen at that point. So yeah, he is correct, but I don't think he understands just how much love he was shown. Yeah, where they was a cop, was it excessive force used? 100%. Should that dude be fired? Yes. Was he racist? I don't know, but if you were to tell me if I was to do a yes or no poll, I'd probably say yeah. The way he was talking to him was like he couldn't wait to get at him. He seemed like a damn pit bull on a leash. The way that cop came out, and then he tried to get at Calais Campbell and the other players. He was ready to put them on their belly and put a knee in their back too. So yeah, this cop one had anger issues too. Uh, I kind of feel like he didn't like that a young black dude was riding around in a Maserati. But Tyreek, man, you got lucky, bro, because you gave him every reason in the world to shoot through your window, bro. Like real shit. Like this isn't even like if I was one of Tyreek Hill's friends and I was in the car with him, guess who I'm never riding in the car with again?
Yep.
You gonna get us both killed. Cause you talking all this, why you rolling in my window? I'm never if I'm with the dude and he bark at the police when my presence, I'm not hanging out with him no more. I can't. Too dangerous. You gonna get me killed. So Tyreek Hill, yeah, I understand. Like, but I understand the victim. He was a victim to something, but he definitely, I feel like he brought a lot of that on himself with his own actions. It did not have to go there. It did not have to go there. What about you, Keith? You got any words about black people issues or anything like that?
No, no, I don't.
No, I'm joking, bro. You can speak on this. Like this is an open conversation. Like take race out of it. Like anyone. Like if Keaton, if you talk to police like that, I'd be like, oh, yeah, Keaton's wild, and I can't rock with that. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
So
yeah, like definitely. You gotta know. That's why it's always important to me to not surround myself with people that are gonna put, not even just with cops in general, but just the type of people that are gonna put you in precarious situations that you don't want to be in. And I'm naturally a non-confrontational person. Outside of the Raiders Chargers game this past weekend, I was a little confrontational
yeah,
then. But
they're flipping off newborns.
yeah, yeah. Outside of that, though, I'm generally trying to be low key and non-confrontational. So. I just think it's just a better practice. I don't know. Because like I was saying earlier, you never know the type of person you're dealing with, whether that's a cop or somebody else. You could be catching somebody on a bad day that's just ready to risk it all. Whether like I said, as a cop or whoever you might be encountering. So like I try to like always like pr proceed with caution in whatever it is I'm doing. And so I would hope the people that are around me do the same. Obviously, people, not everybody kind of has that frame of mind, but um, I think it's important to have at least one person in your friend group that's thinking about those type of things, though, because if you're all reckless, then eventually you're gonna get yourself in some shit.
Yeah, it's crazy. Yeah, Nick, yeah, and then yeah, it's I've had to stop hanging out with a couple people because a couple niggas want to act like the most illiterate, most crip, most blood, get around the police, want to turn into Johnny Cochran. So it's like, all right, man, like I don't know, like this is just no, you gonna get somebody killed. So yeah, Tyreek Hill's lucky to be alive. I'm glad nothing serious happened to him. He was able to play, played amazing. So that's what's important. He's able to go back to his family. But I really hope out of all this victim stuff and oh, he was done wrong, I hope that Tyreek Hill's able to look himself in the mirror and take accountability for this situation. One, realize how lucky he is, and then two, I hope he realized. I hope in his mind he's like, damn. I hope everyone in that situation, I hope the policeman, I hope the two ones who was nutting up, I hope that they, after how much ever time it takes for all this to blow, I hope that they look back and genuinely look at that situation and say like, damn, I wish I could do that again and do it differently. So I feel like this is a learning lesson for and even the bigger issue, like I said, is teaching young black men, especially, how to act when the police come around. Like my dad was in law enforcement, and he taught me at a very young age, when the police come, shut up, hands on the steering wheel where they can see him, all the windows down, license registration on the dashboard, so you ain't got to reach for nothing, no sudden movements, nothing like that. Yes sir, no sir. Answer questions, don't ask nothing. First of all, you shouldn't even be doing nothing wrong to even just act fidgety or be nervous. You know what I mean? So work on your life, do the right thing in the first place, and that's less. But dude, just riding, suspended license, guns in the car, drugs in the car, all types of shit, just hot boxed. So first of all, you should be doing the right thing, and you won't. That'll kind of. But I digress. We should be teaching young black men how to act around the police, especially when you get pulled over. That's my biggest takeaway from this. But okay,
Agree.
enough of the Colin Kaepernick shit.
Agree.
Uh, yeah, let's bring back some happy shit. What is Let me see what we got. What do you guys want to hit next?
This man be long. Hate Kaepernick, man. Oh my
Oh God.
Oh,
God.
Kaepernick wishes that it was him and not Tyreek Hill. Kaepernick was probably over shaking his goddamn foot watching that video. Like, damn, I wish that was me. They got beat up by the police. So I could, yeah, so you can have some more attention. But yeah, I mean, niggas ain't worried about Kaepernick. He ain't said nothing either, has he?
Not that I know of.
Nah.
Okay.
Be quiet right now.
Yeah, very quiet.
You heard you talking.
All right. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Let's get back to the silly shit. Um. Let's Deshaun Watson.
Mm. Mm-mm-mm.
There we go. So I'll let Keith kind of do his victory lap, and then
Bro.
either one just go ahead and talk about what we talked about last week.
Yeah, so if this your first video you watching, I'm gonna need y'all to go back to the channel, go peep some of the videos from a couple weeks ago. We had a few debates about Deshaun Watson. First, last week we talked about Dak versus Deshaun Watson. B Long saying that he prefers Deshaun Watson over Dak Prescott. Thinks said he's gonna have a better season, trust him more. The fate of the universe on the line. The aliens pointing the death beam. He wants Deshaun. And then there was another video talking about if when I said Deshaun Watson is not a top 15 quarterback, and he gave me a lot of pushback on that. He gave me a lot of pushback on that, and so that that was sort of a debate that was had where B Long took the stance that Deshaun Watson is still an elite quarterback, and what we saw Sunday was uh far, far, far from elite. It was the exact opposite of elite. It was one of the worst quarterback performances that we saw in week one, right there alongside some of the rookie quarterbacks like Bo Nix and Caleb and like Gardner Minshew and who else played? Will Levis. Like he was in that category where it was like he looked like a bottom five quarterback. Um, and so yeah, I mean, not a surprise to me. So it's not really a victory lap. That's kind of what I expected from Deshaun. Like I said,
You
I just
expected
didn't.
that. You expected him to play that poorly.
I
No
wouldn't say
way.
that poorly, but I'm also not surprised that he played that poorly. That's kind of like where I'm at. Like I did like what he did like didn't really surprise me. Cowboys defense really good, A, and B, like he just hasn't shown me anything to lead me to believe that he's a good quarterback in the past couple years, and from what I've seen from him since he's been in Cleveland. Um, but obviously, like this was probably one of the lower points of him during Cleveland, even though, he's had a lot of ups and downs throughout that time that he's been there. But there was just a lot of off-target throws, just bad decision making. I saw the stat where it was on throws 15 yards or more down the field. He was 0 for 10, so he didn't even complete a pass past 15 yards, which is like, I don't know if that's probably one of the worst in NFL history, if not the worst. Like that's got to be one of the worst stats for a single game. Obviously, it has to be because it's zero completions, um, but yeah, man, like I was saying, like I just don't, I hadn't seen anything recently that led me to believe that I should have any faith in Deshaun Watson. Um, and yeah, man, I don't know. It's weird. Like I never seen somebody get um, some special treatment and end up getting them making them washed. If that's the case, man, I might have to go celibate or something, bro, because I don't want to lose my talents. I don't want to lose my talents, man. Maybe it's just a massage parlor, bro. I don't know. Maybe that's what it is. If you on that type of timing and you doing I knew something was a little off with Buddy though when I know y'all seen that Khalifa clip he got with
Mhm.
her where he got her all dressed up in his Halloween costume or something and she's dunking on him on a Nerf hoop. I'm like, oh yeah, this guy's a freakazoid. Like this guy,
So it's
this guy
crazy.
is a
Are you
freakazoid.
are
But
you are you are you implying that Deshaun Watson nutted out his superpowers?
I'm implying that psychologically, something is awful, buddy. Psychologically, something is awful, buddy. And when his vices got brought to light, all them all them mental insecurity, whatever the case may be, oh, it's showing on the field now. He can't hide it no more.
Maybe it's the pending charges that he's got that's bothering him. I don't know.
No, it's not. It's not that. I mean, I don't even know if that's gonna even could make it worse on his mental. Just because, well, yeah, because you play arguably probably the worst game of your career and then wake up to a rape charge. Uh, so yeah, I can't even imagine. But it's like, yeah, we've never seen this before where someone is so mentally broken that almost seems like he's in quicksand. His
Bro
mind is
got
in
that
quick.
bench, bro.
Yeah, I guess that's the closest comparison. But Ben Simmons, like
He
if
just didn't want to
like
play. Like Ben
I'm
Simmons
about
is
to
not
say
caring.
Deshaun would trade God knows what to go through the Ben Simmons psychological problems where it's like, oh, I don't got a jump shot. Okay. No, niggas know your game. They know your trick. They know that you like to, first of all, they know that you go on Instagram and type in massage therapist. Weird. Never once in my life have I even typed that word out. That might be my first time saying that word ever. So that's one red flag where it's like, even when if you and your homies in the locker room is dapping you up, they like freaking. This is freak, like you said, a freakazoid. Everyone's
Mhm.
looking at you as a freakazoid. So
Mhm.
one, they know that you say massage therapist. Two, they know that you like to do that. Oh, the towel slipped. Okay, that's weird. Three, they know that you like to turn over, and even if it's consensual, but the fact that you're actively searching out 50 women to do it, and they've all say that, and it all matches up, and you're not denying that that's your bag. That's just a nuts bag. That's honestly compared to like a couple other things. One of which I already said that I'm not going to even say again. That he was just charged with. Like that bag is probably is worse than the Deshaun Watson bag.
Mhm.
There's maybe only a handful of bags worse than that bag. That's a crazy bag.
It's especially like mind blowing to me, like when you're just like you have all the money in the world. Is like why is that your bag? Like
Just pay
what
for
is
it. Just pay for a prostitute to do that. You like to get it out like wow, like it's almost giving flasher. Like you know what I mean? Like it's weird.
it's like
Like
he wants this like the build up
it's
the story.
predatory. It's
Yeah,
predatory.
yeah.
It's extremely predatory. Like you said, he has all the money in the world. But the fact that you were seeking these women out individually on Instagram, I know you didn't have your man's doing that because if your man's has a soul, he's gonna be like, "What? You want me to type in and get you massage therapist? What the fuck? No, that's weird. I look nuts asking 60 minutes. You know how niggas have their handlers, like how Drake be in the club. Hey, yo, go tell Chubbs, go get Shorty. I like that one. She was
Yeah.
about 250. Yeah, you know, yeah. But that's not like that's one thing. But having your man's find the top Instagram massage therapist in the area that's thick, and then you doing some shit after that is like, yeah, that as a two man, you guys are both going to jail. Someone's going to jail. Someone almost went to jail, and it's just a solo. So yeah, it, but it's come down to the play. The play is that we can't even I can't even defend you. I can't defend it. I can't defend the play. The play
Hmm.
is
Yeah. Come on, come to the dark side. Well, this the light. Actually, this is not the dark side.
yeah, bro. If
Come to
Like,
the
bro,
light.
that's the dark
go listen.
side. Hold
No,
on,
yeah, come to the
guy.
light.
Hold on. Yeah. yeah, his play, and then I guess you got to say it's only 1 week, and you were facing Micah
What if he
Parsons.
balls out next week?
What'd you say?
What if he balls out next week?
That's what I'm saying. So like I'm saying, this is 1 week, so I'm not gonna say it, they're gonna let him play a few weeks out, but we can't use a he's rusty excuse. I guess you can because this is his first game back after that. He just got off an injury. He didn't finish out last year. So it's we keep on giving him that. He's been quote unquote rusty coming back about 3, 4 times now.
It's a pretty
So
bad shoulder injury.
yeah, he had surgery. It was season ending. So yeah,
Yeah.
that's serious. But it's almost like the game looks too fast. It looks like he's out there thinking too much, and you just know the dynamic with the team. It's like what locker room is going to follow this guy?
Yeah.
What lock? Because your quarterback has to be the leader, is the leader of the team no matter what, and your quarterback can't be a guy that everyone looks at and would be like, I wouldn't let that guy
As a
watch my,
joke.
wouldn't let no, it not even like I wouldn't let him even hold my child. Would
Yeah.
you let Deshaun Watson hold your child?
No.
Absolutely not. And he went and then two, he's so far removed from what his image was. People forget his image was a poster boy golden child. He was like he was looked at as it was like how people look at CJ Stroud now. Just a stand-up individual young man.
Yep.
Behind closed doors, he's doing some sick shit, like some predatory shit. Some like his might be worse than Bill Cosby. It sounds worse on paper than allegedly what Bill Cosby was doing.
All right, man. Come on, man. Bill Cosby was dropping shit in people's drinks, man.
Bill Cosby got off. They're both two bad bags. Like there's no, yeah, you're right.
Yeah, bro,
It's
come on,
neither
man.
it's neither worse.
It's a
But
nasty
I'm saying the
comparison.
read. I'm saying the read sounds crazier. Okay, this guy they was hung out, they was doing drugs, and they woke up. She woke up to Bill over her. Yeah, that's sick. He found her on Instagram. He told her, "Meet me in Sweet Sea." You know what I mean? And it's just it's two bad bags. But at the end of the day, it comes down to if Deshaun Watson was balling out in the MVP race, nobody would really even be talking about this. They'd be saying like, "Damn, he's like Kobe, where he's fighting through the case, balling regardless." You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, like I said, he's got a couple weeks until if he plays like this for another 2 weeks in a row, he's out the league forever. He's done.
That's what I was thinking. I was thinking like if it doesn't go well this couple weeks, is he done?
Yeah, he's done.
I
You
mean,
can't have him as a backup.
yeah, I mean, he might finish his contract because there's no way. I
No,
mean, they'll
take
just
it.
cut him to eat it. They'll just eat the contract.
The Broncos ate Russell Wilson's contract for worse. I mean, for less.
Yeah, that's true. They could.
If he
They,
did, if he threw 26 touchdowns, 8 interceptions last year, they're happy with that. They'll take that. Like, okay, he's building his
yeah, they
confidence
would.
back up. But this is
Because I don't think he could be he can't be nobody's backup.
No,
no.
it's too, the
You can't
optics
have
are
him in
too
the
bad.
locker room
Yeah, the
unless
optics
you're
are too bad.
balling. We can't have you in the locker room. You're too nasty. It's too
Yeah,
nasty. The allegations is too nasty. You're out here looking like literally Dr. Jekyll, Mr. Hyde shit, and it's too nat. Like this is beyond football with this guy. We got
Cleveland
it.
Cleveland got bro with the allegations. So they knew how nasty he
They
was.
got bro with the
hmm
allegations, but you got to remember that'd be like CJ Stroud getting CJ Stroud. That's how he was. He was
Use a
CJ
different example.
Stroud.
Use a different example. I don't shout to CJ. Use a different example.
Yeah.
No,
Let's
no,
use a
no.
different example.
No. That's exactly. Say if CJ Stroud fell out with the Houston Texans, took this year off, and the next year was on the market, it'd be to the same caliber of how Deshaun Watson was looked at coming on onto the market. What? Deshaun Watson's available. Sorry, but I'll take him.
That might go down as one of the worst trades of all time.
It wasn't
Is what it's
a
looking.
was it a trade? I don't even think it was a
Yeah,
trade.
yeah, it was a trade. They traded.
Oh, yeah, you're right. But still, it's
They gave up on Baker Mayfield, and look at Baker now, man. Baker is hooping.
balling. Yeah,
Shout out to
Baker's
Baker.
hooping.
Shout out to
But
Baker's
Baker.
yeah,
hooping.
happy for Baker. Baker probably yeah. I mean, yeah, he's playing with Mike Evans, Chris Godwin, so and Rashad White. So yeah, I'm not saying I don't even think he would be this successful with Cleveland. So yeah, everything worked out for him, especially. So he can kind of just point and laugh at whatever the Browns got going on from his point of view. But it's like this is
It's,
almost
it
beyond. And
sucks because the Browns have weapons. Like
yeah, they got weapons.
that's what sucks about it. You could tell all his mistakes are really just mental mistakes. He's just holding the ball too long. just throwing in double, triple coverage, like not leading receivers. It's like mental mistakes.
But how much when he gets around those people, he knows that no matter how many high fives, no matter how many we believe in you in the locker room, that everyone in that locker room looks at him a certain way with an asterisk. Like imagine if like we can't even imagine how he feels where it's like every interaction that you have with these people, quote unquote, you're it's not authentic. It's
Kind of
not.
sucks.
That's why I was that, and that's what I was the point I've been trying to make. Like the psychologically thing, like it might be something you could just never come back from and get all the way back from because it's just like it's not the same. You're not looked at the same, not only by your people that are you're going against, but your peers, like your own teammates, the people that gotta believe in you and without them, like you're not gonna be able to play at the level that you want to play at because football, as we know, is the ultimate team sport.
Like, yeah, like every room Deshaun Watson walks in, it probably gets quiet. And like, oh shit.
Here
You
comes
know,
the freakazoid.
yeah, exactly. Even yeah, like even I can't even it's I can't see him being just one of the guys.
You think the training staff is comfortable around him
Absolutely not.
when he comes into the training room and
Absolutely. He
he
probably
needs
don't even go in there.
he needs a little
He can't.
treatment or something?
He
You
can't
go
go in there. He can't go in there.
they got to buy him a custom massage chair. He can only use the
He
massage
can't. He
chair.
got to get his own shit done on his own time. He can't. He can't, especially if there's females. He can't do it. He probably can't even won't even let a female tape his ankle.
Hmm.
Can't. No. Yeah. So like I'm saying, he's we'll see within the next month just how psychological. Because yeah, I mean, if he's playing like this, then Jameis is obviously the better option. So but the Browns have, like I said, $230 million guaranteed. He's under contract for another 2 years. So it's yeah, they're gonna have to ride out at least a month. But then if it's still that it's not looking to improve or you don't see any rhythm, like last year you saw him getting into a rhythm, they were winning games. This year, if it's just more of this, then he's cut by week 5, and then he's out of the league forever, and he'll probably never seen from again, unless I mean, other than this other rape charge that he just got, that's gonna be kind of in the news, I guess that ESPN's probably gonna be covering. But yeah, this is he's fighting for his life, his football life. Yeah, so he really needs to either lock in or my brother, you're not going to be in the NFL for much longer. In about a month from now, you're going to be sitting at home watching like me, Keaton, Harlow. So,
Yep.
but yeah, he's got 230 guaranteed. So, I mean, yeah, we've
But
never
hey man,
seen.
when you're out the league, you can go back to being a freakazoid. You ain't gotta hide
Yeah, he
it.
got to move out the country. He got to go somewhere like Guatemala, some shit, or
Take your
Dominican
ass to
Republic.
Thailand. Go out, take your ass to Thailand and go fuck with
Yeah,
them lady boys.
yeah, he got he got to go somewhere. He can't be. Yeah, he can't just be walking around Sprouts. Can't do it. But
Walking around.
yeah, but that takes us to our other counterpart, Dak, who played well and also got paid $60 million and is now the highest paid quarterback in
Highest
in
paid player ever.
highest played, yeah, player in NFL history, 4 years, 240 million, 231 million guaranteed, which is 1 million more than Deshaun Watson got, which was the previous highest guaranteed ever. And then 60 million a year. So yeah, well deserved. Um,
Well deserved.
yeah,
Really? You think
absolutely. Yeah. Dak is a great regular season quarterback, 100%. It's well deserved. You look at Dak in the total, and it's everything that Deshaun Watson isn't. Someone that the guys can get behind. You can trust Dak to go home and not come back to the office with an allegation. He's gonna show up for OTAs. He's gonna say all the right things at the podium. People
He's
don't
not
look
gonna
at.
miss a playoff game though. Tell you that.
Yeah, the playoff game is another thing, but you look at this Cowboys team. There's a lot of continuity there this year, and as we all know, the Packers were my previous Super Bowl team, but Jordan Love got hurt with a high ankle sprain. He's probably going to be out 5 weeks. So after week one,
MCL sprain.
MCL sprain, yeah, MCL sprain. So I think we have probably 4 to 6 weeks. So
they're saying less now, actually, like maybe like 2 to 3.
2 to 3,
Yeah.
2 to 3. But after, yeah, they should.
We're
I
backups
don't
too.
like I don't like that they didn't win that game in Brazil. Yeah, the field was terrible from what you've seen, but I think I'm gonna go ahead and week one. I think I'm ready to get behind the Cowboys bandwagon. So
That's crazy,
so now
B-Long.
I got Dak Prescott and Dallas Cowboys reaching the Super Bowl
That
in
is crazy.
2025. Got to beating the 49ers in the NFC
No
Championship
lazy
game.
takes, man.
One more year believing in Dak. We can
No
go
lazy takes, man.
What are you talking about? How's
That's
that?
crazy.
There's too many people. After I said the Packers, now everybody, oh, the Packers going to the Super Bowl. So yeah, I don't want to. I don't want to. That's cool. I've seen enough. But I'm a Dak. He just got paid. All the pressure's off of him. CD's there. Micah's there. Brandon Cooks looks good. I think Ferguson's going to be out for a couple weeks, right? The tight
yeah.
end.
How can someone who's seen this happen to the Chargers year after year say the Cowboys are going to the Super Bowl when the same thing happens to the Cowboys every single year? This is crazy.
If you roll two dice, eventually you're going to get seven, right?
Jeez, man, it's crazy.
So yeah,
You may if you never get seven.
I liked what I seen out of the Cowboys.
CD looked good though. I'm not gonna lie.
CD looked really good. The Cowboys look good. The Cowboys look good. Mike McCarthy looks like they know what's going on. They really took control of that game like they were supposed to.
But we always say this about the Cowboys early
Yeah,
on.
we
It's
do this
No,
every
no, no, you
year.
don't always say that. The Cowboys, they'll, yeah, they seem like a juggernaut
great
right now.
regular season team.
We'll see. I'm just saying, I'm gonna put my ticket in right now.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think it's insane to say that just because, and I think the NFC is a little bit. It's no team like obviously the Niners and the Lions are probably the two everybody's two front runners
And
right
I think the
now.
Cowboys can be both.
Yeah, I don't think it's out of the question that, and then obviously, and then like the Eagles are probably the so those to me are like the top four, and then obviously the Packers are kind of lurking too with depending on Jordan Love and whatnot.
Yeah,
But those are kind of like the five that I could see really making some noise and having a chance to make a run. So I
right.
don't think it's crazy for the to say the Cowboys could make the Super Bowl. Just you just seen the script happen over and over again to where for me like I just can't pick them. But I don't think it's out of the question talent wise. Obviously the talent is there. It's always been, but it's always been there. So
It comes
with the
down to
Cowboys,
Dak.
yeah, with the Cowboys, there's not really like there's not like for me at least like there's not significant analysis to give until the to me they're kind of like the Ravens like there's not significant analysis for me to give on those teams. Like we know these teams are going to be good. They're going to be in the picture at the end of the season. But are they going to be able to take that step to get over the hump? Is their quarterback going to take that step to get over the hump um, and break through and reach that Super Bowl and potentially win it? I think those are like they're kind of like the counterparts to me in the sense that I don't really have like deep deep dive analysis. You know what I mean? Like these are good teams. They're going to be in the picture at the end of the year. Is the quarterback going to raise their level of play or do what they've done in the past in the playoffs, which is not play at the level that we were accustomed to seeing throughout the regular season.
Yeah, so yeah, I think a lot is to be desired out of their running back firepower, but we'll see. Zeke looked really good to me. Daldo, we'll kind of see how he emerges uh, coming off. But like I said, a lot is on Dak. But we'll see. This team, I really like the defense. I like their corners a lot. Deron Bland's coming back. Trayvon Diggs is back. Number 21's a baller. Jordan Lewis is a baller. Micah Parsons, Demarcus Lawrence, Diggy Zua.
Like Hendricks,
They got
Eric
what do you say?
Eric Hendricks.
Eric Kendricks. Yeah, they got playmakers all over that defense. And Mike Zimmer is a competent defensive coordinator. So the defense is physical, fast. They'll fly around. They got a little bit, like you said, Eric Kendricks, a little bit more stout at linebacker at the second level right there. So that's going to help when it comes to stopping the run, which has always been an issue for the Cowboys in the past years. So we'll see, man. I really liked what I saw out of them. And so that division is going to really come down to between them and the Eagles. So I can't wait to see those matchups happen as we watch. But yeah, there's really not much other than that you can take away from that game just because of how shit Deshaun Watson played. It's just man, it's really just unbelievable because like I said, this is something we've never seen before, and we'll see if he's suspended. I don't even think the NFL is going to do anything with this new allegation because they're looking at the way he's playing and they're thinking the same thing we're thinking. They're like, well, I mean, if he keeps playing like this, the Browns are going to cut him in a few weeks anyway. So it's like, why even? This is stuff happened in 2020. It's like we already kind of punished him for it. This isn't even proven yet. So we'll just let these next few weeks play out before we bang the gavel. Yeah. So that's my how I feel like that's going to play out.
Yeah, I agree. Um, let's stick in that division though, and let's talk about another quarterback that kind of had a little bit of expectations for, and you were saying you saw some resemblance of Eli Manning in him, and you thought that he maybe might have that type of season or run in him after he got paid 2 years ago, but he also had one of the worst quarterback performances of the week, if not the worst.
I think the worst.
Yeah, it might have been the worst. Yeah, it probably was the worst, all things considering the opponent and whatnot. Uh, Daniel Jones in those awful uniforms that they were wearing too. God, those uniforms are terrible. Those were the
Terrible
worst
uniform.
uniforms I've seen, by far the worst of the week. And so it's only right that they played the worst of the week wearing them shitty ass uniforms. Oh man, he looked awful. He looked really bad.
Yeah, that man is not good. He's not good. Like he's not good. I
Yeah. So
don't
what, he got
understand the point.
186 yards on 22 of 42 with two picks. One of those picks being a pick six. Um, I mean, yeah, like there was expectations going into this season a little bit with Daboll taking over the play calling duties. They thought maybe that would help Daniel Jones out. Another year under Daboll on the system and adding Malik Neighbors into the fold. Obviously, they lost Saquon, which was a major loss. That they're not going to be able to replace, but they added a weapon on the outside that you would think would help Daniel Jones in the passing game, but and even in the sense that they're playing an opponent that on paper that they have just as much talent as, and for them to kind of get steamrolled in the way that they did, and Daniel Jones to get thoroughly outplayed by a quarterback in Sam Darnold, who's now at this point in his career kind of a journeyman, who fizzled out after being a top three pick in the draft, didn't really live up to the hype that he had coming out of Southern California, with the Jets, and then he ended up, I think it was with the Niners, and now he probably wasn't even going to be the starter this year if JJ McCarthy didn't get hurt in the preseason, and then he comes out and he balls out like Darnold was playing his ass off, um, and on the contrary, Daniel Jones looked like half the quarterback that Sam Darnold was, and that's just a real testament to where he's at right now, and I don't know how. Obviously, I think maybe he can play better than this, but I don't know how much better because ultimately I don't think he's any good. And so, his time is definitely ticking. He's on that Deshaun Watson timeline where, a few games from now, if it don't get any better, we may never see him as a start. He won't get blackballed from the league like Deshaun Watson
Yeah.
because
Yeah.
he doesn't have the allegations and he doesn't have that negative PR outside of Giants fans despising his guts. Um, but we're reaching the point where we might never see him be a starting quarterback again, in the National Football League.
Yeah. If he goes the whole year, they're gonna let him play this whole year out. It's not like Deshaun where well, I mean, they do have Drew Lock behind them. So yeah, there is
Yeah,
a
they
little
have
bit of
Drew Lock.
pressure there.
They got Tommy
Um,
DeVito.
okay, no. But it's with Daniel, there's only so much I'm gonna put into his performance, his first game coming back off an ACL tear. So there's only so much I'm gonna put into game week one from guys like him, guys like Kirk Cousins, guys like Aaron Rodgers, quarterbacks who are all coming back from major injuries, taking their first hits in over a year, sometimes some even 2 years. So yeah, I'm gonna give him a little bit of grace and to kind of giving him a couple weeks to fill out the game. He was running around, took some hits. Sure, that was good for his mental. The knee seemed to hold up pretty good. This offense needs to have an identity. They need to run the ball, just like they need to play how Jim Harbaugh had the Chargers playing. That because I mean, yeah, you got a great receiver, but it's like this isn't Daniel Jones isn't Joe Burrows, where it's like Jamar Chase is going to come and just take the league by storm year one. So you still got to have their identity. One, Daniel Jones can run. So you damn near got to really rely. They should be a 60-40 run pass. They're just dropping back, snapping the ball to Daniel Jones every play like he's freaking prime Peyton Manning. That's not how he's not going to excel. That's not his game. So one, I want them to find more of an identity cater to running the ball, and then two, give Daniel a little bit more time to settle in before I'm gonna just completely say that he can't play, because I still think he can play, but the OC isn't really doing him any favors.
Yeah.
You're gonna say Daniel Jones can play?
Daniel Jones can still play. Yeah, absolutely.
Daniel Jones is better than Deshaun Watson?
At this point,
Oh man.
yeah. I mean, yeah,
Oh
Cleveland will
man.
take him
Come
over
on, come
Deshaun.
on, Belong. Come on.
Oh man.
Yeah,
I might take Daniel Jones over Deshaun Watson.
yeah,
Come on,
absolutely.
Keith. Come on,
Because when
Keith.
you're
Oh
taking
man.
Deshaun, I can't. He's transcended just us talking about the play. You got to
No,
take
let's talk about the player, man. We're not talking about the allegations. We're talking
can't
about
even do
who's
it.
a better
It
player.
doesn't work like that with him. He's like he's
Why can't
become
it
like a
work like that?
mythical. He's become like a mythical
Because
figure.
Daniel Jones has never shown us anything. At least Deshaun Watson has shown us
He
before
did show the one
that
year they won the playoff
What are you
game.
talking about? Dan Jones never shows you anything.
He had
Daniel
one
Jones
solid.
has
He had
not
one solid year actually.
He's won a
what
playoff
is
game.
solid.
He won a playoff game.
Won a
First,
playoff
he got the
game, and
Giants to the playoffs. Second, he outplayed Kirk Cousins and the Vikings in a good playoff game. Then lost to the Eagles, who went to the Super Bowl and lost by a field goal.
Bro,
he did enough. He did enough to get a little contract.
4 years,
that
160.
contract was not warranted, bro. Everyone was like, why did he get this contract?
Hey
Yeah,
man,
We're
I
not gonna
mean,
sit here and be
Hines.
like
Yeah,
Daniel Jones
definitely. Like
is
it
lived
definitely was a
that
sus
contract.
contract for sure.
We're not
Um,
gonna do that. Let's
but I
not.
but I but I would say he at least showed in that season that he was an average quarterback.
he showed
Like
that he could get to the playoffs and win a game.
he wasn't a bad quarterback that season. He was a fine quarterback.
Yeah, he was all
He
right.
wasn't like elite or like he was
And
just like
Deshaun has
okay,
shown that he
like
can be a elite
serviceable.
quarterback.
Deshaun shown he can be elite, bro, but this cloud of darkness that surrounds him is it's engulfed damn near everything about everything about him. It
Daniel Jones
engulfs.
has Daniel Jones has played better football more recently than Deshaun Watson has.
Yeah,
We just played football. Deshaun Watson's barely played any football.
and
You know,
that goes into it too.
that goes into it.
That goes into it too, man. Yeah, Deshaun, that was literally the worst game of his career. Their offense looked like fucking like a Pop Warner offense
So,
out
so,
there.
Des- so Daniel Jones's leash is less than Deshaun's then, if you're saying, because if he only has this year to
No,
show
it's
us,
not. It's not. It's
you're
not. I'm
saying you're
telling
saying
it's
that this
not.
year
It's
is going
not.
to show us.
They're gonna let Daniel Jones play this whole year out. They're gonna let him play this whole year out. Deshaun, Cleveland's almost like honestly hoping, probably hoping that he plays like this the next 4 games, just so that they have a reason to cut him. Literally, yeah. The Giants, they hope Daniel Jones plays well. Cleveland probably at this point, especially with his other, they're probably hoping that he doesn't play well. They're like, please give us a reason to cut you and just play Jameis so we could be done with this. At this point, yeah, it's out of hand. Deshaun Watson out of hand. And then like trust me, I was like, okay, maybe he can do it. But if he can't get past it mentally, then neither can I, man. Then yeah, it's
I need a few more weeks. I need a
uh,
few more weeks.
okay. No, and that's fair. And like I said, I give him, like you said, I give him it's one game, but I can't. It's just like, all right, bro, like this looks crazy. You look nuts. You look nuts out there playing like shit, and you got allegations, and you got paid the highest contract ever. It looks nuts. So it's like it's almost, yeah. It just I don't even know what to say to defend Deshaun Watson at this point anymore.
So what do
He's
you
just got to play better. He's
what do
just
you
got to
think
play better.
on Daniel Jones?
Would I have to defend Daniel Jones? He's got to play
What
better too. No, and he just got off injury. Let him. He'll be all right. Daniel's gonna be all right. He's gonna play well this year.
I did not think I'd hear this from you, man. Truly.
Daniel's gonna play well
Wow.
this year. But yeah, enough of the. Let's talk about another big story. Uh, Caleb Williams, the number one overall pick in the draft, deemed the second coming of Patrick Mahomes, by Hard Knocks and every analyst in the preseason. Let me give you his stats from week one.
Mm,
So the Bears did end up winning the football game. They scored a touchdown on the pick six, and they also scored with a blocked punt.
mm-hmm,
So Caleb Williams was 14 to 29, completion percentage 48.3, 93 yards, average of 3.2 yards per attempt. Uh, Passer rating of 55.7, and then a QBR of 23 and a half, which is 23 and a half out of 100.
mm-hmm.
So what did you guys take away from his opening performance? You put a lot of stock into it, not too much. Just what is did you get from his performance week one?
I think Caleb's gonna be all right, man. I don't put too much stock into it. I feel like he came out there, obviously, a lot of pressure on. He thought he was going to do some things that he did in SC, run around the field, escape the pocket. He can't do that in the big leagues. But I mean, other than that, I feel like it's his first game. He got to get accustomed to the league, realizing what he can and cannot do. But I mean, you saw bright spots. I saw a lot of rollouts with him. Now check now to DJ Moore. So I mean, like he looked good. He looked like there's a lot of room for improvement. But I mean, first game, it's not nothing too crazy for me. And I
Uh,
feel like, especially with a guy at his talent level, like that's gonna come. The game's gonna come to him pretty easy.
yeah,
Yeah, I generally agree with that. Like I wouldn't overreact to one game. And I think an important factor in was that he didn't turn the ball over. I know that there was like that one crazy batted pass that Roma Dunze ended up catching. That was like on a tip drill type of thing. That could have been a turnover, but him not turning the ball over, helped give them a chance to ultimately win the game. The defense made some plays, special team made some plays, but like he didn't win them the game, but he also didn't lose them the game by making costly turnover like what Will Levis did in that fourth quarter, making that
terrible.
awful decision, one of the worst decisions I've ever seen a quarterback make.
Yeah,
Um,
terrible.
so you didn't see that rookie like that terrible rookie mistake from him, which I thought was a positive sign. Obviously, he struggled, and I think he got the biggest improvement for him is going to be getting better at playing within structure. On those 3-step drops, then 5-step drops, being able to make quick reads, get the ball out on time, accurately, and get easy completions, to kind of keep them ahead of the chains, and so that he's not getting into those third and long situations as a rookie. Those are the last places you want to be, because that's when the defense coordinator is going to bring the house at you and give you exotic coverages and make a rookie quarterback, a young quarterback in this league, very uncomfortable. Um, and so I think that, getting as he gets more reps and comfortable with the speed of the game and just overall timing with his receivers and everything of that nature, I think he'll improve in playing structure, and that'll kind of help their offense moving forward. So I wouldn't, yeah, like Harlow was saying, I wouldn't put too much stock into it. I think he'll get better, and for them to pull out a win. Obviously, he's the first number one pick to win his opening start since 2002. Um, so that's obviously like still a good sign, knowing that typically, whoever the number one pick has been in recent memory, they've lost their opening day start. Maybe they've had better performances than him, but at the end of the day, wins and losses are what matters in the NFL. And then I think the development will come in time. So I think, yeah, I wouldn't put too much stock into it.
The
I think
biggest
he'll
thing,
bounce back.
biggest thing is that they got the win. That's the biggest thing. So it
Hmm.
looks like he knows how to win
Yeah,
games.
yeah, they got the win, but they were given the win. They shouldn't have won that game.
Yeah,
They got the win.
like that.
Yeah,
They
you
got
got
the
the
win because
win.
Will Levis is an idiot.
Yeah,
Will
you
Levis
got the
is
win, but one little Will Levis is an idiot. Two, you guys scored off a block punt that which you can't ever count on happening at the beginning of a game. So yeah, you give them the win, but it was kind of they shouldn't have won that game. They didn't win that game because of him. So it's like, yeah. And yeah, you can't even say they didn't lose it because of him when their offense really didn't give them anything at all. Uh, and that's kind of what I'm taking away from this. So one, people are coming in that saying like, oh, they look like they could be a playoff team. Don't really see it after that week one. We'll see kind of how he develops further along into this year. But remember, I don't know if you guys remember last time we spoke about Caleb Williams. I said his floor is Trevor Lawrence, which is all the talent in the world, can make all the throws, is mobile, can do anything under God's green earth that a quarterback can do. But there's just something that's off. You know, like we all know Trevor Lawrence should be a lot better than he is with his ability. And if you look back when Trevor Lawrence was a freshman and won the national championship at 19 years old, the whole country was saying, "Oh my God, this guy's going to be the first pick in the draft 4 years, 4 years from now, and he's going to take the league by storm." But that hasn't happened. He's done enough to get paid max uh, contract QB money, and it's based off of his ability and I guess that lucky playoff win that Brandon Staley gave him. But it's really not. Has he reached his potential? You think, Trevor Lawrence, from what we thought after watching what he did to that LSU team? Was that LSU they beat? Who they beat in
Yeah.
the NCAA turn? I mean, in the finals, the championship.
LSU.
It was LSU they beat. Who they
Uh,
beat?
it was lucky
Was it
Bama.
Bama?
Bama?
It was
They
Bama.
probably. I think they beat Bama.
It was
Yeah,
Bama.
it might have been Bama.
Yeah, yeah. Look that up. Well, yeah. So yeah. So yeah, Trevor Lawrence. We all can kind of agree that Trevor Lawrence
Yeah, it was
hasn't.
Bama.
Yeah, we all can agree that Trevor Lawrence hasn't reached his full potential. So, and you look at that, you say why? So I said his floor, Caleb Williams' floor is Trevor Lawrence. His ceiling is Patrick Mahomes. So when you look at what Patrick Mahomes had coming into the league, he was able to sit under Alex Smith for a year, and he was able to be with one of the greatest offensive minds in the NFL history. So imagine if you would have just thrown
Two of the greatest weapons that we've seen.
with two of the greatest weapons, and the Bears have great weapons, but without someone to scheme it up the correct way, it's meaningless as we've seen. Uh, and I feel like the Bears, who is a team who has never had a quarterback throw for 4,000 yards, the only team in NFL history that hasn't had a competent quarterback ever. Uh, you kind of look, and I feel like if they don't change things quick, they're gonna he's gonna be 60% of what he can be. So they need to get Matt Eberflus is a good guy. I liked him in Hard Knocks. Has a cool haircut and beard now. But he just doesn't have enough offensive genius to really kind of take Caleb Williams to the next level. They need to get a guy like Mike McDaniels, someone who took Tua from here to here to really get the most that they can out of Caleb Williams, or you're just going to get for the next 5 years, I guess, good enough to pay him all the talent in the world. But I guess we got our starting quarterback, just like the Jacksonville Jaguars have with Trevor Lawrence, who's good enough to get that contract, somewhat be
Hmm.
competitive, but it's not going to be that next Peyton Manning, that next Patrick Mahomes, which their talent level says that they should be at that level. So that's really what I'm worried about. Caleb kind of not reaching his full potential with this current coaching staff that the Bears have.
Yeah, I could see that for sure. We'll see what happens, how he develops throughout the course of his rookie year. See how he adjusts to from week to week. I think week 2 will show a lot. He's gonna have a big test going to Sunday Night Football in Houston. That should be an interesting matchup.
Oh no, they're gonna get smacked. They're gonna
CJ
get
about
blown
to
out.
cook him.
They're gonna get blown out. This Chicago Bears team is not a good team. Uh, just their offense. Who's their offensive coordinator?
Shane Waldron.
Terrible, god awful, absolutely terrible. There's no reason that you should have Caleb Williams, Rome Odunze, Cole Kmet, DeAndre Swift,
Keenan,
DJ Moore, Keenan Allen, and not fucking be putting on the greatest show on turf. There's absolutely no way. So they need to get the right people in that building to kind of get that offense going. I don't care that he's a rookie. He's good enough to make some shit for it not to look like that. So they need to hurry up or they're going to be stuck with Trevor Lawrence situation.
Caleb likes the bright lights though, so I mean, this week it should be interesting.
Yeah, I mean there was a lot of pressure. He was pressing a lot, and that Tennessee Titans defense is tough. In Tennessee, that's tough. But it shouldn't look like that. Should
Yeah.
not look. Yeah, they got the win, but they need to really take a look at their scheme on offense and be like, okay, we need to get some more movement. Like, imagine if Trevor Lawrence was drafted by the San Francisco 49ers and got to play with that offense,
Mm-hmm.
what he would look like. If Brock Purdy looks like this, imagine what Trevor Lawrence would look like. We'd be talking about him with Joe Burrow and Lamar Jackson and Patrick Mahomes. So they need to get someone in there to kind of get Caleb on that level and not reach his full potential.
Yeah.
So yeah, we'll see but I don't see the Bears making the playoffs after what I saw week one. All right. Biggest surprise and biggest letdown from week one.
For me, my biggest surprise, I'm gonna go with um just like how well I already see the chemistry clicking on offense for the Houston Texans. I thought with the additions of Joe Mixon and Diggs, I thought it was going to maybe take them a couple of weeks to kind of gel and figure out that chemistry and see how it would ultimately come together. But they hit the ground running week one, 29 points, obviously a solid number. Joe Mixon ran 30 times, which was also a surprise to me to see him get kind of. I was wondering if year two that they might lean into more of that aerial attack, um, with obviously having three really good wide receivers around CJ Stroud and a solid tight end. I thought they might start to air it out more and kind of go in a little bit of a different direction from what they did their rookie year, where they did still run the ball a lot more than I mean not a lot more, but they ran the ball more than they passed the ball. But um, they kind of stuck to that script what they did in week one, which I think is okay. I think you don't want to put too much on the shoulders of CJ Stroud as amazing of quarterback as he has been so far in his pro career. He's still only in year two, and so I think not trying to put the whole entire thing on his shoulders and leaning on that ground game and showing it is good for him and will only help him moving forward. So yeah, I mean, I was a little surprised by that, just how well, especially and then Diggs integrated well. Catching 2 touchdowns, kind of dominating those third downs,
Mm-hmm.
third and fourth downs, and then kind of dominating a lot of the underneath stuff where you have Nico doing a lot of the over the top and intermediate routes where he's kind of that bigger play threat, and then obviously you got Tank Dell who's kind of can do whatever on the field, whether that's take end around handoffs or be a speed guy on the outside, catch it over the middle
Yeah.
of the yards. Catch, he kind of is just like an amazing offensive weapon that can do a lot of different things on the field. And so it was surprising to see that kind of all gel together where you saw Joe Mixon have a good game. Nico Collins had over 100 yards and then had that amazing catch and then on that 3rd and 11 to ice the game where CJ put it right in the perfect spot to him on that out route. Like that was just picture perfect throw and catch. Like that was two elite players making an elite play to end the game. And obviously Diggs had the 2 touchdowns. Tank Dell did his thing. So I was
Yeah.
surprised to see that kind of all gel together in week one, and that only makes me feel more optimistic about how their season is gonna ultimately go because I was pretty high on the Texans coming into the season, but I was thinking that they maybe might come out the gates a little slow with the target on their back of having won the division with the high expectations, bringing in the new players, maybe CJ, year two with more defenses having more knowledge about him that they might start a little slow, but from the looks of it from week one that they're gonna hit the ground running. So that was my surprise. As for um, my letdown was the Panthers and Bryce Young specifically. Like I thought, like obviously I didn't wasn't expecting them to be a good team by all means, but I was expecting Bryce Young to take a step in the right direction and show me that he has talent and upside and he has the ability to be a franchise quarterback. And I think after one game so far, obviously it's still very early in this season, only one game, but he hasn't answered any of the questions about whether he's that guy for the Panthers, whether they can buy into him being their franchise quarterback, which is obviously a concern. And that's something that they want to get answered. I mean, his very first throw of the season was an interception, and it didn't get any better from there. It was it was it didn't get any better at all. Like it was pretty brutal throughout the entire day. They got absolutely obliterated by the Saints, like 47-10, and they brought in a new coach who there was a lot of optimism surrounding because he was kind of at the forefront of what helped Baker have the best season of his career, as he was the Bucks offensive coordinator this past season. And so there was a lot of optimism and hope that kind of he was like seen as this quarterback guy to where he could come in and help Bryce reach his potential and help elevate his game from what we saw after his rookie year, which was a really rough rookie season. But from what we've seen from one game, it just hasn't got any better. And so that's a disappointment to me because I was expecting Bryce to show me that he has the tools and ability to be a franchise quarterback. And after one game, I haven't seen that yet.
Yeah, no, those are yeah, the Houston looks like a well-oiled machine. That was pretty surprising seeing, like you said, how they were able to keep everyone happy. It seemed like you think didn't Dalton Schultz score a touchdown too?
I don't think so.
Well,
Not
yeah,
that
yeah. Go ahead.
I don't think so because I know I think Diggs was the only caught both touchdowns.
Okay. Yeah. Well, yeah, I seen Dalton still had a couple catches. Joe Mixon was running for about 7 to 10 yards, jumping over people every time you turn that game on. And yeah, CJ, he's the real deal, man. Yeah, his I was watching a little bit of the highlights from them today, and his release is just so quick and effortless. It's something real pretty.
His ball placement is always usually right on the money too. And then his ability, like the biggest thing that surprised me is I didn't really see it a lot at Ohio State was his ability to extend plays and be creative.
Yeah.
And we talked about that. Like that's a crucial element now for the elite guys is like you got to be able to make some plays off script, especially when you're in those third downs, whether that's scrambling or when you're in those 3rd and 15s when the defense is going to drop 8 into coverage and you're going to need to buy a little time in the pocket and scramble for your receiver to kind of find that soft spot in the zone. And so I remember he did that one where he scrambled and he fade almost getting out of bounds and he threw it back across his body over the middle. And those are typically like the no throws in the NFL where it's like you don't throw it over the middle across your body. Like those are typically recipes for disaster. But he found Nico wide open on one of those plays. And so those are like the special plays that only, the real elite guys make on a weekly or on a game to game basis. So yeah, like you were saying, yeah, he's one of them ones, man. Shout out
Yeah.
Ranch.
So yeah, shout out Rancho. And then another thing, I like how you're covering up that Barkley jersey behind you too, Keaton. That's a good one. Uh but the biggest letdown, I'll go with my biggest surprise. My biggest surprise kind of ties into your biggest letdown. My biggest surprise was the Saints. I was expecting them to be terrible. I was expecting them to be worse than the Panthers, expecting Derek Carr to shit the bed, Alvin Kamara to struggle to get him touches in the right spots like they did last year. But they pretty much rolled the Panthers, which was looking like might be the worst team in the league, which is might not be saying much, but their offense looked a lot better than I was expecting it to be. Shaheed, who's a deep threat, fast guy, he looked really good. Derek Carr he looked real comfortable and in control to me. So that was a surprise because I was expecting absolute shit show from the New Orleans Saints this year. Biggest letdown. We really don't have to speak on this too much. It's already been talked about enough. But Deshaun Watson, man, like last week, I already was saying like I was expecting that Dak versus Deshaun to be a classic game, and Deshaun turned that into just I could have gone back there and done everything that he did. I promise. Yeah, I could have had the same impact on winning that Deshaun Watson had that week. So he's definitely just got to be better. And there's really nothing else to say about that.
Hayden. Kidding. My biggest surprise, it's not really a surprise, but I was kind of shocked to see how good the Chiefs actually looked like first game of the season. Like first game of the season, Chiefs always start out kind of slow games, kind of feel the way out. But Rasheed Rice, Xavier Worthy, Mahomes got these pieces that look great first game in. Everyone looks like they're clicking and like gelling. So I think the league should be like terrified of them because they looked
Yeah.
way better than I thought they were gonna look, especially after two Super Bowls. Like they got the Super Bowl slump. I didn't see
No.
it. Went to work. Like I think I think they're gonna start out hot. Like besides everyone thought, they weren't gonna look that good. But I think the Chiefs were like my pleasant surprise because I didn't think they would come out that good. But
Mm-hmm.
my biggest letdown, I was telling Keaton this before, It's gotta be Lamar. I have two. I have Lamar and Joe Burrow, but I'll start with Lamar because I think in that game he didn't show like any sense of urgency, kind of. I mean, he was running a lot. His running looked good. He did lose weight. He looked good running the ball. But we were talking about this with the homies. I think he didn't throw the ball downfield like one time. Towards the end, exactly, he was getting to likely. But before that, he was not throwing the ball downfield at all. Like he wouldn't even look down there. And every time he threw down there, it was in like double, triple coverage. And I'm like, what are you're acting like you don't want to be out there. He just looked like he was like disengaged in the game. Like he wasn't playing like Lamar football where he's throwing and passing. His running was great, but it's just his throwing was just not was subpar. And then I was telling Keaton, Joe Burrow, I feel like so much hype coming in from like last year, and then he got hurt. So then this year we're waiting on Joe Burrow, Jamar Chase. He wants to, getting that money again, wants the contract, and they got let down and got beat up by the Patriots. So I mean, that was my second letdown. Because I think honestly, everybody says a lot of things about other quarterbacks, but Burrow hasn't showed as much since that Super Bowl run, truly. And
Yeah.
this is supposed to be the year for him to do it, but I've seen a lot of hype around Burrow and not a lot of production, to be honest with you.
Yeah, yeah. And well, I'm gonna rebut both things you said. So Lamar, I think Lamar played well.
He played
I
well. He played well. I just think I wanted to see more like of him throwing the ball downfield. I didn't see that enough from him.
Yeah. And well, too, you got to remember the Chiefs last year was the best defense in football from my point of view. So, and if when it comes to the Ravens offense, you know that you got to stop Derrick Henry. Mark Andrews doesn't seem 100%.
Yeah,
Uh,
he limping around.
yeah, it doesn't seem 100%. And then when it comes to their outside presence, Zay Flowers, you know that he's a deep threat, so you just don't let him beat you deep. Like you said, a lot of the times where there was obvious passing situations, we're going to double team Zay Flowers if Mark Henry, if Mark Andrews is hobbled. And then with Joe Burrow, I totally agree. I feel like he is kind of gassed up just because of he's got like a cool factor to him. He smokes cigars. He beat Patrick Mahomes head to head. So let's just try to anoint him when really I don't think he's even better than Justin Herbert. Uh,
Yeah,
but
I agree with that.
I don't think you can really put too much. Cincinnati's known to start off slow. I
Yeah.
think like 2 out of the last 3 years they start off 0-2 and then kind of are either if not in the lead of their division, they're kind of a game or two away and still a competitive team. And then once they get into the playoffs, you already know that they're a tough out just because Joe Burrow, he for some reason he does play better in the playoffs. So I'm not really too worried about them over the first. Like if they start 0-3, because they do play the Chiefs, I kind of expected them to lose that game too. But if they start losing after that, if they get to 0-3, 1-4 territory, then it's like, okay, you see Joe Burrow playing around with his hand a little bit. You're like, okay, like what's going on here? Is he healthy? What's the disconnect? Is it what's going on offense? Why aren't they winning games? They should be
I
winning
saw
games.
that with his hand. Like, did he hurt his hand? Because
He hurt his hand last year. He was out for the year.
yeah, I know that, but I'm saying like, did he re-aggravate it? Because I'm trying to think like,
It's like some weird ligament injury. I don't really I have to do some more research on it, but there's something not right.
yeah, those are two big things for me.
But no, I'm not really too worried about the Bengals. Like I said, they always start off slow. Uh I'm not gonna be worried until they're like 1-4, if that happens.